Influence, the psychology of persuasion. How people get manipulated without even realizing it. Imagine walking into a store just to browse. A friendly salesperson greets you warmly, offers you a free sample of perfume, or lets you try a new gadget. You didn't plan to buy anything, but somehow you leave the store with a product you never intended to purchase. Or think about that time a friend asked you for a tiny favor, maybe borrowing a pen. A few days later, they ask for something bigger, maybe a ride to the airport. Before you know it, you're doing things you never planned on doing. This isn't coincidence. This is psychology. And no one understands it better than Robert Cialdini, a professor of psychology who spent years studying why people say yes, even when they don't want to. His book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, reveals the hidden triggers that make people buy, agree, and follow others, often without realizing why. Why do people say yes? Humans like to think they make logical, rational decisions. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. This helps the YouTube algorithm promote our videos. Thank you so much. And now we continue our story. But in reality, most choices are automatic, emotional, and influenced by external forces. Cialdini identified 6 universal principles that shape human behavior. Salespeople, marketers, politicians, and even con artists use these principles to manipulate us every day. If you don't know these principles, you're getting influenced without even realizing it. Let's break them down. The 6 psychological triggers that make people comply. 1. Reciprocity, the power of giving. If someone does something nice for you, you feel obligated to return the favor. Example: you walk into a perfume store and the salesperson gives you a free sample. Now you feel awkward leaving without buying something. A waiter brings you a mint with the bill, and suddenly you tip more. A friend buys you coffee. Next time, you feel you owe them one. How it's used against you. Companies and salespeople give you something free to make you feel indebted. So you'll buy, donate, or sign up. How to defend yourself. Recognize when a gift is actually a strategy to influence you. Say, thank you, but don't feel pressured to give back. 2. Commitment and consistency. People hate being inconsistent. Once we commit to something, even in a small way, we feel pressure to stay consistent. Example: a stranger asks, "Do you support helping homeless children?" You say yes. Then they ask for a donation. You feel trapped because saying no now makes you look bad. A salesperson gets you to agree to a small request first, like filling out a survey. Later, you're more likely to say yes to a bigger request, like buying the product. A political campaign asks you to put a small sticker on your car. A week later, you're more likely to donate money to that campaign. How it's used against you. Companies trick you into small commitments, knowing that once you say yes, you'll feel pressure to stay consistent. How to defend yourself. Ask yourself, would I still agree to this if I hadn't already said yes to something small? If not, walk away. 3. Social proof. If others do it, it must be right. Humans are wired to follow the crowd. If everyone else is doing it, we assume it must be good. Example: you see a long line outside a restaurant. You assume it must be great, so you join. A TV show plays fake audience laughter, so you laugh more. A website says 100,000 people have already signed up, so you sign up too. How it's used against you. Marketers use bestseller lists, online reviews, and fake testimonials to create the illusion that everyone else is doing it, so you should too. How to defend yourself. Just because a crowd is doing something doesn't mean it's right. Make decisions based on facts, not popularity. 4. Authority. People trust experts, even fake ones. We obey people who seem authoritative, even when they might be wrong. Example: people in white lab coats look like doctors, so we trust their medical advice, even if they're actors. A man in a suit tells you, "This investment is 100% safe." You believe him because he sounds like an expert. You see an ad, "Dentists recommend this toothpaste." But which dentists? Who paid them? How it's used against you. Companies use titles, uniforms, and fake credentials to appear more trustworthy than they really are. How to defend yourself. Question authority. Ask, is this person really an expert or just playing the part? 5. Liking. We agree with people we like. We are more likely to say yes to people who are attractive, charming, or similar to us. Example: attractive salespeople sell more because people like them. You're more likely to buy from someone who shares your hometown, hobbies, or beliefs. A celebrity promotes a product. You trust it, even though they know nothing about it. How it's used against you. Companies use influencers, attractive spokespeople, and friendly sales tactics to make you like them, so you'll buy. How to defend yourself. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Or do I just like the person selling it? 6. Scarcity. If it's rare, we want it more. The fear of missing out, FOMO, makes people act irrationally. Example: a store sign says, "Limited stock. Only 2 left," so you rush to buy it. A hotel booking site warns, "5 people are looking at this room right now." A product is available for 24 hours only, so you panic buy. How it's used against you. Marketers create fake urgency and artificial scarcity to make you buy immediately, without thinking. How to defend yourself. If something is truly valuable, it won't disappear overnight. Take a step back and think before you act. Final thought. Are you in control or being controlled? Persuasion isn't always bad. These principles can be used ethically to help people make better decisions. A good leader inspires through authority. A good company builds trust through transparency. A good salesperson helps customers find the right product. But in the wrong hands, these tools become manipulation. The question is, are you making choices, or are choices being made for you? Next time you're about to say yes to something, stop and ask yourself, am I deciding this, or am I just reacting? Once you recognize these psychological triggers, you can take back control of your decisions, because the smartest person in the room isn't the one who persuades, it's the one who sees through the persuasion. Influence, the psychology of persuasion. How to make people say yes. Robert Cialdini never wanted to be manipulated, but like most people, he found himself agreeing to things he didn't really want, buying things he didn't need, and being influenced by people without even realizing it. As a psychologist, he became obsessed with one question: why do people say yes? Why do we buy things we don't need? Why do we trust strangers based on first impressions? Why do we follow authority figures, even when they're wrong? To find out, he went undercover. He spent years working inside sales organizations, advertising agencies, fundraising groups, and even cult-like marketing teams. What he discovered shocked him. There are 6 psychological triggers that make people say yes almost automatically. These triggers are so powerful that salespeople, politicians, advertisers, and even scammers use them every day to influence our decisions. And once you understand them, you can recognize when someone is trying to manipulate you. Use them ethically to persuade others, make better, more conscious decisions. The 6 principles of influence. Cialdini found that almost all persuasion techniques rely on 6 basic principles. 1. Reciprocity. We feel obligated to return favors. 2. Commitment and consistency. We want to act in line with our past choices. 3. Social proof. We follow the crowd. Authority. We trust experts and figures of power. 5. Liking. We say yes to people we like. 6. Scarcity. We want what we can't have. These triggers are so deeply wired into our brains that they work on almost everyone without us even realizing it. Let's break them down. 1. Reciprocity. The power of giving dust. Have you ever received a free sample in a store, then felt obligated to buy the product? Or maybe a friend covered the bill at dinner, and now you feel like you owe them next time. That's reciprocity in action. Humans are wired to return favors. If someone gives us something, even something small, we feel social pressure to give back. How businesses use it. Waiters give a small gift, like a mint or a handwritten note, to increase tips. Charities send free address labels in the mail, making people feel obligated to donate. Supermarkets give out free food samples, triggering a purchase. Lesson: if you want people to say yes, give them something first. Even a small gesture can create a powerful sense of obligation. 2. Commitment and consistency. Why we stick to our choices. Imagine you're asked to sign a petition for clean energy. It's a small, harmless action. So you agree. A few weeks later, the same organization asks you for a donation to support clean energy policies. You're now much more likely to say yes. Why? Because once we commit to something, even in a small way, we feel psychological pressure to stay consistent with that choice. How businesses use it. Car dealerships get you to agree to a low initial offer, then slowly add more fees because you've already committed. Gyms offer free trials, knowing you're more likely to continue after making an initial commitment. Salespeople ask small yes questions to warm you up for a bigger request. Lesson: if you want to influence someone, start with a small request. Once they commit, they're more likely to follow through on bigger actions. 3. Social proof. Everyone else is doing it, so it must be good. Imagine walking past 2 restaurants. One is empty, the other is packed with happy customers. Which one would you choose? Most people pick the crowded one. We assume that if others like something, it must be good. How businesses use it. Online stores show bestseller and most popular tags to increase sales. Nightclubs create long lines outside, even if there's space inside, to make the place look popular. Companies use customer testimonials and reviews to convince buyers. Lesson: if you want to persuade, show that others are already saying yes. Authority: we trust experts, even when they're wrong. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted a shocking experiment. He asked volunteers to deliver electric shocks to a stranger in another room. A man in a white lab coat, who seemed like an authority figure, told them to continue, even when the shocks became dangerous. 65% of people obeyed, delivering what they believed were lethal shocks. This study showed something terrifying. We trust authority figures, even when we shouldn't. How businesses use it. Ads feature doctors in lab coats to sell health products. Celebrity experts endorse products they don't even use. People trust financial advisors even when they make bad investments. Lesson: just because someone looks like an expert doesn't mean they're right. Question authority and do your own research. 5. Liking. We say yes to people we like. Ever noticed how salespeople are extra friendly? They smile, compliment you, and try to build a personal connection. That's because we're more likely to say yes to people we like. What makes us like someone? Similarity. We trust people who share our values, interests, or background. Compliments. Flattery makes us feel good, even when it's fake. Physical attractiveness. Good-looking people are often seen as more trustworthy. How businesses use it. Advertisers use attractive models to sell products. Salespeople mirror your body language and speech to seem more relatable. Brands use influencers because people feel connected to them. Lesson. Want to be persuasive? Find common ground. Give genuine compliments and be likable. 6. Scarcity. The fear of missing out. FOMO. Imagine you're shopping online and you see only 2 items left. Limited time offer expires in 3 hours. Suddenly, you feel an urgent need to buy. Why? Because we hate losing opportunities. The rarer something is, the more valuable it seems. How businesses use it. Airlines show only 3 seats left at this price. E-commerce sites use countdown timers for sales. Luxury brands limit production to make their items feel exclusive. Lesson. If you want to persuade, make your offer feel limited, rare, or exclusive. Final thought. How to use this knowledge. Now that you know the 6 principles of influence, you have 2 choices. Let them control you. Marketers and salespeople already use them against you every day. Use them to your advantage. Persuade ethically and recognize when you're being manipulated. Influence is a superpower. Use it wisely.